We interrupt the normal schedule to take a live satellite feed of the 24-hour cable news channel CNNNN.
But the vital knowledge we have gained from the affair is that John Major's buttocks are smoother than apricots. I'm Simon Target in London.
CNNNN. Guaranteed twice as true as regular news.
Time now to see what other stories are making news this hour.
America's king of pop, Michael Jackson, has once again gone under the knife for plastic surgery. Jackson said he wanted to go back to his African heritage and he said to be pleased with the new look.
US intelligence believes the Al-Qaeda terrorist network may be hiding itself underwater. Exclusive new footage suggests Al-Qaeda has relocated its training cells to the bottom of the ocean, which President Bush has now added to the axis of evil.
The operators of an aquatic theme park have strongly condemned a visitor who brought a giant magnet into one of their shows. The park's owners say they'll be more vigilant in the future about screening visitors for magnets.
Well, it's taken years of searching, roaming the four corners of the globe far and wide. But scientists have finally discovered a person who's not impressed by Ian Thorpe. Amazingly, the man is also unaware of his TV show Undercover Angels.
And disaster today at an air show in Ostend in Belgium. Horrified spectators fled the scene as a fighter plane came to a safe landing on the runway. Simon Target reports.
No one at Ostend Air Show was prepared for the shock of seeing the fighter plane land safely.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, he's landing, he's landing, oh my God, how did this happen?
The question on everyone's lips is, how did this happen? A Defence Ministry inquiry says a functional engine could be to blame.
But the biggest clue to the disaster lies in the black box recording, located in the plane only minutes after the tragedy.
And check. All clear for touchdown and touchdown. Roger that.
Aviation experts say a disaster such as this could not have happened in Eastern Europe, where security measures would ensure that even if a plane landed, it would at least plough into a crowd of spectators. Organisers say they are unsure whether the airshow will go ahead next year. I'm Simon Target for CNNNN.
Just a terrible tragedy.
But just returning to our major story, the war process is in tatters tonight after a body blow to President Bush's efforts to broker a lasting conflict in the Gulf. Protesters in London and Rome have taken to the streets, leading to reports of a possible outbreak of peace.
Now, this is very, very scary stuff, and surely this is not the time for us to be waging senseless peace. I mean, have people forgotten what this whole quarrel with Iraq's about? Let's remember why Bush needs this war.
This is the guy that tried to kill my dad.
Now, if that's not a reason for Bush to ask the whole world to take up arms, then I don't know what is.
And with all this talk of peace, we really can only hope and pray that hotheads will prevail.
We hope so, yeah.
We'll keep watching CNNNN as we keep you up to date on the escalating peace crisis. But of course, the other main story of the week, the football.
Yes, it was one of the great AFL finals, I thought. In fact,
definitely.
just a terrific week for football all around, from the Brownlow medal count to the breakfast, of course, the grand final parade.
Oh, no. I was annoyed by that grand final parade, and particularly the TV coverage. They totally ignored our entry, marking the highlight of the AFL year.
Well, it's grand final parade time here in Melbourne, but unfortunately the number one man of the season, Wayne Carey, doesn't seem to have a tribute. So we decided to try to get our own one into the parade. So far, so good. But the long arm of the AFL were onto us.
Guys, we need you out of here now. How you got in here, I don't know, but it's not on, and it's not on. Liz, we need security down here now.
Sorry, we just can't let you go in the parade, I'm afraid.
Despite our obvious popularity, Wayne's tribute was too much for the AFL. But as the official parade went on, it was our tribute to Wayne Carey that really thrilled the fans. People have really rallied behind our tribute to Wayne Carey here today. People seem to be confused by the pies, but it's really Wayne Carey they love.
A great tribute to a great man, and good luck to Adelaide. Still to come this hour, we put a smile back on the face of Jody Rich.
Fighting the war on terror every day. This is CNNNN.
I'm hungry. It's no ordinary burger. It's the new Peking burger from Fungries. A delicious all-beef patty, topped with crispy prawn chips and our authentic Chinese flavoured sauce. The Peking burger from Fungries. It's a 4,000-year-old culture on a sesame seed bun.
I'm Fungly. Ting-a-ling-a-ting-ting-tong-tong-tong. I'm Fungry.
Coming up on the Chaser Lifestyle channel, more do-it-yourself makeovers on changing regimes. How to turn Iraq from this into this. That's tonight on Chaser Lifestyle, Channel 23, only on Chaser Cable.
You're with CNNNN as the dark clouds of pacifism are gathering over Europe yet again.
That's right, and it seems European leaders have now been joined by peacemongers in America, whose calls for restraint are bringing the world dangerously close to the brink of calm.
Well, with more international reaction, joining Julian Morrow in Washington is Simon Tajay in England and Anna Skellen in Israel. Simon, what's the mood over there in England?
Terrible, I'm afraid. The goodwill here is completely out of control.
How about in Israel, Anna?
They're very concerned. This flies right in the face of all the hard work the Israelis and Palestinians have done to avoid peace.
Look, call me a dreamer, but I'm not giving up on war just yet.
That's a great point, Julian.
I'm sorry, Simon?
No, not him, me. I'm back here.
I didn't say a thing.
No, me. Back further. Further? Almost there. That's me. Hang on. No, too far. Come back. Hey.
And you are?
John Wallace. I recorded a song a few years back called Funky Medicine.
And what did you want to say?
I just want to agree with Julian.
Right. Well, thanks for your time, Wallace.
Pleasure.
Much appreciated.
Glad to be here.
No problem.
Anytime.
Let's roll.
You're watching CNNNN. More in a moment. Back again and turning to business news. Still plenty of tears at AMP after the resignation of their boss, Paul Batchelor.
He really turned the company around, Paul Batchelor, especially the way he managed to get the share price right down to make it affordable for mums and dads investors.
I'll tell you what, if ever a CEO deserved a massive golden parachute, it's Paul Batchelor. The Financial Review's saying he may only get $7 million as a payout. I hope that's wrong.
Oh, look, we all do. I mean, look, Paul Batchelor made AMP what it is today. He was right across all facets of the business, right down to their latest ad campaign.
Packing up, eh? Yep. So you're no longer the CEO. How did you know that? I knew. 20 years from now. Really? Well, you look great. Business bounced back, did it? Actually, no. The company's share price tanked. Well, you've done all right. How does that work? Got out early. Got a golden handshake. Set me up for life. AMP. AMP.
Effective ad, isn't it?
It's very good, isn't it?
Look, Paul Batchelor will be fine, and good luck to him, but he's not the one I'm worried about. There's plenty of other former executives out there who weren't so lucky.
Jody Ridge.
Yeah, Rodney Adler.
The list goes on. They're out of work. They've got nothing to live on apart from the millions they've transferred into their wives' names. It's just appalling.
Well, look, thank goodness someone has finally recognised their plight with the wonderful work being done by Di Stewart, the wife of Chaser Corp boss David Stewart.
Yes, she's set up a charity dedicated to raising money for those most in need. I hit the streets to help out this very worthy cause.
Sir, I wonder if you could help out for the Make a Fortune Foundation today.
Make a Fortune Foundation?
Yeah, it's for people such as, of course, Jody Rich, who comes from a broken company.
Oh, is that a bit like a broken home?
It is very like a broken home. We're just trying to help out some struggling executives in Australia, such as Rodney Adler.
Oh, yeah?
He's now unemployed. He's not allowed to work as a director anymore. It's really difficult for him. Poor guy, he's been working for years, and yet he doesn't own a single asset.
I thought
At least not that the courts can find, I guess.
How much does Rodney want?
Anything starting over $1,000, that could get him going for half a day or so.
Yeah.
Would you be able to perhaps give us $6.9 million for his bonus this year?
$6.9 million only?
Yes. Yeah, only.
Absolutely.
I know.
Why not?
You can have the lot. That's wonderful.
I've got a checkbook.
You
There's
got
a
the
wallet. Do you want me to volunteer to help clean his house or something?
That'd be wonderful because he's down to 2 or 3 cleaners at the moment. It's very difficult. Oh, you don't have a few million for their bonus?
No, I don't. No.
You don't?
No. I already need $6.9 million to survive.
Have you tried to refuel the helicopter recently? We help former executives such as Alan Bond and Christopher Skase. And we bought Christopher Skase's one-way trip to Mallorca. And
yeah, I know
people
Alan Bond.
You know, they lost a lot of money and it becomes very difficult
Ray
for
Williams
them.
as well.
Ray Williams. He's been forced to sell his $13 million worth of homes here.
We're from the United States and there are so many rich people that we need to give to in the United States.
There are too, aren't there?
We hardly have any to spare for you.
You'll sign over your HIH policy?
Happy to do it.
We'll give it to Ray Williams. He's struggling too.
Okay, well, I've probably got a home and contents one there too that I can throw in.
You can throw in, that's wonderful. Do you give to WorldCom executives? Do you have the Make a Fortune Foundation?
But they clearly richly deserve it.
They do, don't they?
I've adopted a WorldCom executive.
You've adopted a WorldCom executive, that's wonderful.
Okay, some more money for those millionaires. There you are.
There you go, they appreciate that. Don't you feel anything? Why don't we stop thinking about the little people for a moment and start thinking of the big people, hey?
Yeah, no.
We'll take it all.
Yeah. Briefcase will do.
Take that.
You take traveller's checks?
Travellers, we take anything.
Concern for these people's
15
welfare.
cents. You don't want to give anything? No. $1,000? Shares? We take share options. The child. They'll take anything.
Not at home.
In the end,
It sounds empty. There should hit other coins.
it's just notes mainly. You know.
Tell him I'll send him my bank account details and also a copy of my signature in case he needs to use that.
That's
It'll
wonderful.
save me having to write it out again.
It's only a little bit, but every bit helps.
Thank you.
A wonderful charity there, helping some very special executives. And still to come this hour, At Home with Yasser Arafat, showing us his new open plan living.
This is CNNNN.
I'm Fungry. To celebrate our new Peking burger, Fungry's is now offering a special Chinese buffet. Feng Cha! With our authentic Chinese sauce, it's a 4,000-year-old culture on a sesame seed bun.
Ting-a-ling-a-ting-ting-dong-dong-dong. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Coming up on the Christian channel, Decent Brother. Get ready for some Christian reality. We've locked up 12 wholesome youngsters and our cameras are running 24 hours a day on the outside of the house. Decent Brother. Coming up on the Christian channel. That's channel 97 only on Chaser Cable.
Time now to check what else is making news.
Producers of the Channel 7 TV programme Pop Stars have begun production on a third series of the hit show, with hopefuls across all ages queuing up to audition.
Ethnic violence is on the rise, with Caucasian gangs rioting again in the Sydney trouble spot of Bondi. Police have charged the gang's 3 white leaders, whose families have slammed the arrests as yet another example of police and the media unfairly targeting the Caucasian community.
Chaser Corp CEO David Stewart has failed in his 29th attempt to fly around the world strapped to a kite. The daredevil billionaire philanthropist has spent $56 million on the high-tech kite, which he hopes will help develop alternative forms of transport for the third world.
Back to our top story, the possible outbreak of peace. And President Bush and Prime Ministers Blair and Howard have issued a joint statement reassuring the world that talk of peace is premature.
And thankfully they've promised that peace won't be considered until all the other options have been exhausted.
More on the peace crisis shortly. But on a brighter note, be sure to be watching tomorrow night when we present another of our death row execution specials on Thank God It's Friday.
Yes, indeed. It should be a beauty tomorrow. We've got Lewis Harmon up to fry. And as always, Charles Firth will be chairside to call all the action.
Should be absolutely terrific TV. And I know people here in the States can't get enough of those televised executions, as I discovered when I took to the streets of America to conduct some market research on capital punishment. Which statement best sums up your position on capital punishment? Strongly in favour, should happen more often, or would love to pull the switch yourself?
All three.
All three?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm very much in favour and I wouldn't mind pulling the switch.
I would love to pull the switch myself.
Oh yeah, strongly in favour.
Should happen more often.
Should happen more often. Why would you say that?
I don't know. I just think that people aren't, I don't know, they're not
punished enough, and I don't know.
Pull the switch, kill him.
Okay, fantastic.
Quicker you kill him, the more room we got for the next criminal.
Do you think that death row executions should be televised? A, absolutely. B, only the good ones. Or C, not if it clashes with friends.
Yeah, no, not if it clashes with friends.
Not if it clashes with friends.
Come on.
Only the good ones.
Only the good ones.
It shall be televised.
All of them?
Yep. No, I don't think there's any reason for that.
Right, why's that?
Because I think it's rather barbaric to televise.
Right on the street corner, public execution. Shoot him in the head, drop him to the ground.
Hey, let's watch the Sunday night execution. Bring over the six-pack and bring over the popcorn and chips.
Other than murder, which offences do you think should be subject to capital punishment? A, divorce. B, atheism. C, overdue video rental.
How about divorce? You shouldn't get divorced. Once you get married, that's be it.
Yeah, divorce.
There wouldn't be many people left in LA, would there?
Overdue rental.
Absolutely, it's a big problem,
horrible.
isn't it?
Yeah, because when I want to get a video that I want and someone else has got it, it's all annoying.
What about a murderer who hadn't returned their videos?
Well, do them twice.
Which new method of capital punishment would you be most interested in seeing?
Oh, okay.
Fed to wild animals?
Yeah, I like that one.
Right, okay, but it gets better. Drop naked from a tall building?
I like
or
that
slowly
too.
eroded by acid?
I like all of those. Yeah.
Can I have multiple answers on that one? Because I like A and C real good.
I like the drop naked.
Slowly eroded by acid would be nice.
Beheadings.
Beheadings?
Yeah. If somebody blows somebody's head off, fine, blow their head off. If somebody rapes and murders somebody, fine, let Bubba from the next block over rape him and then kill him.
You know, you need quartering would be real awesome. You know, quartering with the horses and the arms.
Sure.
That would be an excellent execution for public.
This is CNNNN, bringing you other people's pain.
For me, it's about the magic of the markets. It's the NASDAQ and the Nikkei in a fiery dance of life. It's the crackle of fresh revenue and the soft whistle and plop of the All Ordinaries Index. It's about the smell of hot leather in a stampeding bull market. And you want to know a secret? I make love to my wife while we listen to the clanging of the Wall Street trading bells. That's why I'm with CNNNN.
Rita and Lynn, the Hyper Twins! This week, Rita and Lynn face off with the Brutal Union.
Join me! Join me!
Oh no! It's standing over us! Reducing my productivity!
Will Rita and Lynn bust the Union? Find out on Rita and Lynn, the Hyper Twins! Only on
CNNNN 48!
Shaping the minds of tomorrow, today! Get CNNNN for Kids on Channel 27, only on Chaser Cable.
Coming up on the documentary channel, don't miss the latest instalment of Michael Apted's groundbreaking documentary, 98 Up. 7 years on, how have their lives changed? That's 10 o'clock tonight on Channel 28, Chaser Documentary.
Back with us live and to the ongoing crisis in the Democrats now.
It just gets worse and worse, doesn't it? I can't keep up with them anymore. I mean, whose turn was it to lead the party this week?
Look, I think they're just wallowing in misery, secretly hoping Gareth Evans comes along to woo them all out of the party.
Well, as if the members don't have enough problems to contend with, now they must deal with the most damaging revelation yet. Anna Skellen has the details.
With the party in crisis, it was the last thing the Democrats needed to hear.
The Australian Democrats is, in fact, an elaborate hoax.
Former student Jason Kelly admitted yesterday he set up the Democrats in a drunken dare while at university, saying he wrote the party's constitution while getting stoned with his football mates.
I thought up the bit about seeking a transition to a sustainable economy. Which is silly, but a bit of fun.
Kelly spent the 80s running a series of unlikely leaders. Don Chipp, Janine Haynes and even John Coulter, each more absurd than the last, finally culminating in Cheryl Curnow.
When she defected to the Labor Party, that was superb. We'd actually spread the hoax to another party and everyone bought it, even Gareth Evans.
Since then, Kelly's been trying out even more unlikely characters, but no one's raised any doubts, despite him leaving several clues.
Nobody believed Australians would elect an Aboriginal Member of Parliament, surely.
Brian Gregg. Look at him and tell me he isn't a hoax. I mean, he hasn't even got a proper name. I've got two friends.
Brian and Greg. That's how I came up with the name.
Kelly said he came clean because the Democrats' hoax had gone too far. This is Anna Skellen for CNNNN.
Amazing revelations. And one man who was always suspicious of the Democrats was Charles Firth.
Anyone who thought John Coulter was the genuine article needs to have their head checked right now.
Well, what's on the factor tonight, Charles?
Tonight, euthanasia. It's a well-known fact that it's wrong, so why are so many quitters still so keen on DIY murder? Life. It's God's most precious gift. It starts off as a miracle, and it just gets better and better and better. But for some people, God's greatest gift isn't great enough for them. At the first hint of difficulty, they want to throw in the towel. This is Robin Fowler. She's 52 and wants to die. Robin, life's such a precious gift. Why do you want to top yourself?
Well, I have an incurable degenerative disease. If I'm not allowed to die with dignity now, in a few months, I'll be fully conscious, but I'll choke to death.
Not very convincing. People live with pain every day. I smashed my thumb with a hammer. But you don't see me dialing Dr. Death. The Bible says euthanasia is a sin. So I went undercover to talk to a sin expert. Father, does the big man upstairs say that good suffering is better than bad death?
Yes.
Now that's convincing. If you want eternal life, there's no jumping the queue. Opinion polls may show that people support laws to allow euthanasia, but our scientific research blows those facts away. We offered euthanasia to ordinary citizens for free, and still nobody wanted it.
No, I'm alright, thanks.
No, I don't think so.
It's the offer of a lifetime. Basically, you go in there and you die.
Well, who wants to do that?
So how do we stop people being queue jumpers for eternal life? The solution is so simple. We need to convince people their lives are worth living, even when they're not. Just remember, anything is possible if you've got the will to succeed. And that's the Firth factor.
CNNNN. News with a touch of humanity.
At CNX, we listen to our audience. That's why we've made a few changes to bring you more of the news that you want to see. That means less of this and a lot more of this. More classic hits more often. The CNX News Slam. You know you want it.
If you're not getting the News Slam, contact your local cable provider today. Subscribe to CNX, Channel 66, only on Chaser Cable.
Coming up on the Flicking Channel. Don't touch the remote control. We've got 24-hour coverage of mindless flicking just the way you like it. Now with random colour adjustments. Twice the restlessness, half the effort. The Flicking Channel. Channel 63 on Chaser Cable.
Back live, and if you've just joined us, the news here is that the world faces a serious threat of peace. Let's cross to Brussels, where Chaz Licciardello has the European reaction. Sorry, we seem to have a technical problem there in Brussels. Andrew Hansen, however, is standing by with all the latest in finance.
Good evening. On the Pusillanimous Index, we see the market breadth is positive on light volume with substantial mass and an ability to take the shape of the container holding it. It was the third tightest day of the year, but with great height and breadth and depth and malleability. Meanwhile, on the New York Wetness Exchange, winners beat losers by more than 10-5, a turnaround from last week when the losers somehow beat the winners. I'm Andrew Hansen. For all your business rhinoceros, go to www.hock.com.
News just in. As peace threatens to engulf Iraq, thousands of demonstrators have taken to the streets of Washington to march for war. Anna Skellen is on the scene.
Up to 20,000 Americans have marched here on the Capitol, urging the government to resist peace at all costs. A short time ago, they began a candlelight vigil. Strangers from all walks of life are coming together, lighting candles, joining hands, and singing songs of war. The protesters are calling for a global moratorium on peace and hope that their simple message of war reaches those in power. So maybe, just maybe, peace in Iraq can be averted. This is Anna Skellen in Washington.
Times, they certainly are a-changing.
Aren't they? And just a reminder to viewers that you can show your support for the war by purchasing one of these CNNNN war ribbons. Now, they're available during all of War Awareness Week, so keep an eye out for our street sellers or go to our website, cnnnn.com.
It's a wonderful cause, and all the proceeds, of course, go towards helping children build munitions. But now time to check your emails.
Yes, George Kemp of Manchester reflected a lot of viewers' opinion when he wrote, "AIDS in Africa. Please, CNNNN, keep it relevant." And Sue Hargraves of Eagleton asks, whatever happened to Pinto, the juggling newsreader? I hope he's OK. Sue, we can assure you that he's out of rehab and well on his way to recovery.
Well, that's your say. Up next, lock up your wives, because joining us in the studio is the Wayne Carey of Whitehall.
Well, look out.
The Tory trouser merchant himself, John Major, to talk about Iraq.
CNNNN. We report, you believe.
Welcome back. Well, he's the man who always liked to mix Parliament with pleasure.
That concludes our live satellite feed of the 24-hour cable news channel CNNNN. We now return ABC viewers to their regular programming.